Hello everyone, Kirby here. Thanks for joining me, and today we're going to talk a little bit about bass note strumming. I want to show you some basics on bass notes and what you should be looking forward in playing some songs. We'll take a couple of songs and look at them. We'll take a Johnny Cash song, Eric Clapton, and let's see, Gordon Lightfoot. We'll take a Gordon Lightfoot song just to show you the difference in the rhythm. But let's take a look at the alphabet from A to G, because that's our chords from the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And if I just play each chord, what I would typically do is play the note and just note, up, down, up, note, up, down, up, note, up, down, up, note, up, down, up. I got my thumb across the top string there, just in case I miss that string, you know, and hit the top string for some reason on the way down, and I don't get that open E in there. It won't matter, but you want a nice clean strum. So you should be just practicing playing the note, up, down, up, note, up, down, up, note, up, down, up. And then when you want to work a little bit of bass into it, now our bass note on the A chord is this open top string here, this E note. Losing my hearing here, okay? So we have a bit note, up, down, up, bass, up, down, up, note, up, down, up, bass, up, down, up. Okay, you should be practicing how to play that in a fairly smooth rhythm, just back and forth. Alternate back and forth between those two notes. On the B, we'll use a B7 as an example, because that's used more often in a lot of songs. And your bass note is up here, so it's built right into the chord. Just, you got to rotate up and down like that. So just the note, and then the bass note. Up, down, up, bass, up, down, up, note, up, down, up, bass, note, up, down, up. You just go back and forth with that. The C, your bass note is this G string here. If you play C like this, then you would just lift this finger up and hit the bass note there. Note, up, down, up, bass, up, down, up. Now when you're playing this part of the, you don't want to have this open, that open A string in there, so just play the bottom part of the fret, the strings. Don't play this. Don't play up as high as this open A string. Like the bottom three strings are, come back to it again. Now if you play a full C chord like that, what I call a full C, play my C with the two top fingers here, then you don't have to do this back and forth. It's kind of built right in, right? So you're just doing a nice little back and forth rotation, and don't look at the strings. You may have to when you first start, but you want to kind of keep your eyes off looking down like this, and just keep your head up, close your eyes, whatever you want to do. Okay, D chord. Your D chord is your A string above the D string, so that's your bass note on the D. Right? And practice doing different speeds. You know, slow it down and speed it up, and just work that rhythm back and forth. Play that for like 3 or 4 minutes or whatever on each chord, or jump around on the chords and just play the bass note that associated with the D chord, the A chord, the G chord. So we want the D, E chord. Your bass note is this B string right here, the B note I should say right here on the A string. Okay, so just work that in. F, your bass note is the C note right here. So you can either play your bass at the top, or you can play it underneath here, like this. Top string, go to the F note below, and you can alternate back and forth. Note, up, down, up, bass, up, down, up, note, up, down, up, bass, up, down, up. Right, and then the G chord is your open D string. I play my G this way a lot of times. And that applies to an A minor, any minor chord's the same thing. Whatever chord you're on, the bass note for the major is pretty much the same. Alright, so let's take a look at this I Walk the Line, and I'll just show you some runs now between these chords, because we just looked at the chords. In this one it's an E, A, and a B7, then it goes to a D, or an A chord, and it goes A, D, and E, and then it goes down again to a D, and it goes from G or D, G, and an A. So you got a nice blend here with this song. I keep a close watch, or I keep my eyes wide open all the time. No, I got that backwards. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds, because you're mine. I walk the line. Right? Now if I want to put a little bit of a run between this, just do a slide with this middle finger, open A, and walk your way up to the B7. Keep your bass note going, and then do an open A, 4-2 on the top, get back to your E chord. And then I'm going to go down to the A. I'm going to do a 2-4 on the top to the A note, open bass at the top here. Do, 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 do. Just to walk backwards on that top string. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Now I'm going to go down to the A, so I'm going to do a 2-4 on that top, get into my A chord, play my bass notes. Same thing, it's a 2-4 down to the D on that A string. And we're going to go down to a D chord, play open A. Throw a D7 in here to go up to the G. Just an open top string, just walk it up, bass note, go back the other way. And right here, when you get that open E string, you want to cover that right away with your thumb. As soon as you hit this D string, you're going to have this open D or open E at the top ringing. Like that. You want when I say covered, I mean just muffle it out of the way, like I'm doing here. Okay, so if you can work your way through those chords and play the bass note that accompanies those chords, and then work those little runs in this chord, in this song I should say, E, A, B7, A, D, and E, and D, G, and an A, you got quite a few of the runs already covered off. Now if you're doing a song like Eric Clapton's Alberta, 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 where you been so long? You see my C note and my bass note there? Alberta, Alberta. So I'm going from a C down to an F, or up to an F, whatever you want to call it. Just walk it up on that D string there. My bass note just, where you been so long? So just going the other way, 3-2 open, right? Back to my root note there, the C. Da, 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 da. Now this song does a little bit of, you can do another little bit with the bass here, for example. Alberta, Alberta, where you been so long? Right here. You have this, let's pull off on the G there. Alberta, Alberta. So I'm just playing open D string right to the C there, and then like this. This is a little bit more than what I want to get into, but this is just to show you that you can work bass in. We've been so long, ain't had no loving. Same on the G. You can do a little pull off on that D string there, and do a little walk like that on the C, up to the C and open D underneath. Alright, so that's kind of another use here. The rhythm pattern is a little different, but you can see that's some bass notes in there as you play through, the C to the F back to the C, and up to the G. If you're doing a song like Ribbon of Darkness, which is, you can play it at any speed, but if you did it like in a bluegrass style, a lot of guys, when they're playing a fast song, they don't necessarily play bass notes because they got a bass, big stand-up bass in bluegrass, and they just they'll just stay on the note. But ribbon of darkness over me, so you can. Remember I said on the A, the minor's the same. The bass note at the top is the E. D chord, your bass note's the A. G, and your bass note's the open D. Back to the G instead of this way, right? There's a lot of people use that run there, but you can do a back from the C and just walk your way down to the G. So there you go, just a few basics on moving between the chords. Once you got the bass notes figured out, then it's just a matter of putting those runs in between all the chords. And like I said, depending on what chord you start on, A to a D, you're just going to be doing just a 2-4 and back the other way. If you're on most songs don't start in a B or a B7, so we won't talk about that. A C is usually a C, F, and a G. So down to your F, back to your C, up to your G. A D is usually up to a G, back to the D, and there's usually an A in there. And then E, you got E, A, and B7, right? And then again, F. Most you don't get a lot of songs starting F with that A sharp in there. But anyway, you could. I mean, I don't run into many songs where I play an F to start off a song, and then of course if you're in a G, there's usually G, C, and a D. Alright, so there we go. We'll wrap it up right there. Hopefully that was a bit of use to you. Like I said, practice playing the chord just without any bass notes, just playing the rhythm. Get comfortable with that. And then work in your alternating bass notes for the chord itself. Play that for a while till you can go to any chord with your eyes closed and you can feel the bass note back here with your right hand. And then work between playing 3 chords and play some runs between those chords. And you'll find you can play a gazillion songs with 3 chords. And you're well on your way then working some nice rhythm into your playing, because a lot of guys don't play bass notes and a lot of people don't do runs between chords for some reason. I don't know why, but they don't. I mean, we're talking here mainly bluegrass kind of country flavor, but as you've seen with that Eric Clapton song, and there's other songs that I can give you better examples of probably in another tutorial, another lesson, but there's lots of uses for that in rock as well, and in rock and roll and stuff. So next week we'll look a little more, on Sunday I should say, and end of the week we'll look at doing some walking bass, because that's a topic that a lot of folks have asked me about, and that involves usually a drop D tuning. Not always, but if you put a drop D in your tuning, you can play a lot of songs that require some walking bass, and it's a nice fill. It makes you look really, really professional. Even if you're just starting out with walking bass, it makes a big difference when you're by yourself, especially. Alright, so hopefully that worked out. You got any comments, you can leave them in the comment box below, and if you found this video useful, please share it with others so they may benefit as well. Thanks for your time, folks. We'll see you again soon.